Hey, howdy, hey, everybody, it's Siren, and we are back with another Q&A. I think this is our third Q&A? Yeah, I did, yeah, one and two before, so yeah, third. And I asked YouTube, Twitter, Patreon, and I'll probably pull some from Telegram if there's any good ones on there, about some questions that you guys had for me, and I'm really excited to see what you guys are curious about, and to completely tell you off if you asked any weird questions. Just kidding. Or am I? Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it, because I am really excited to see what you guys want to know about me, because if there's one thing I like talking about, it's myself. To start, let's go to Twitter. Or, well, X now. Let's go to X. Okay, the first one I see here is from Glitchy, and they ask, "What is the funniest thing from your life that you love to share?" um, okay, I usually use this in like two truths and one lie, just to like throw people for a loop. But I jumped into the window of a moving car. It was like slowly rolling by like people, so like it's not like high speed, Fast and Furious Siren just getting a running start and jumping in the window. I don't know how old I was. I was definitely younger, but I jumped into the moving window of a vehicle, directly halfway into the lap of Mark Wahlberg. And basically, I just sort of had a little Kodak camera. I remember it as clear as day. It was red. And I just jumped it halfway into his lap, my little legs kicking out the window, and just snapped a couple pictures of his face. So yeah, there was that. The bodyguard had to pull me out by my legs. I was just a little kid, so I really didn't get in too much trouble for it. But I have a picture of Mark Wahlberg basically trying to tell me, "Whoa, buddy, get out of the window," because he's such a nice guy. He wasn't gonna like shove me out or anything, but he was just like, "Hey, little man, just watch out." So, I think that was pretty funny. But yeah, that's my little cling to fame before I started this channel. Glitchy also asks, what is the weirdest half-blood you can think of to exist? Oh, I don't know. I think like anything amphibian would look pretty scuffed. Like they probably exist, but like they look really fucking cursed. Like I don't know, like an axolotl half blood or a frog half blood or something like that. That's why I'm very staunch on insect half bloods not being canon because one, bugs, ill. Second, they would just look so fucking weird. Like, don't get me wrong, a butterfly half-blood would be so pretty, or a dragonfly half-blood would be so pretty, but then that insinuates the existence of, like, dung beetle half-blood, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get my hands in the dirt in that one. Probably should have said something better, but, I'm just gonna wash my hands. Fuck. But yeah, just anything type of, like, aquatic besides mermaids, because I just feel like to live underwater like that, you gotta have some pretty interesting stuff that wouldn't look very fun on the human body. Probably, most likely, maybe, kinda. I don't know. Be creative. Moving on, Loosey Goosey asks, "What is that one movie that makes you cry or get emotional every single time?" To this day, no horror movie has ever scared me, or no emotional movie has ever made me cry, but there was one Broadway, and it was a Broadway, this was a live performance of a show called Miss Saigon, and the ending just tears me apart every fucking time I see it. I can't keep it together. It's such a beautiful story, but oh gosh, when it's over, it's just heart-wrenching. Because it's not like a fantasy story about, like stuff that doesn't exist. This is like a real story based in real life that could have possibly happened, or that probably has. And it just makes you just go crazy. It's just so sad and beautiful, but sad, and it wrecks me. So Miss Saigon, that's the one that does it for me. Moving on, Rube, or Rub, however you want to pronounce that, asks, "What's your usual ritual to get you in the mood to create amazing lore?" Um, I like to take long, long baths. just insanely long baths, just sitting in the water, just soaking it up. That's how I get into the mood to just build a world, you know? We could make up some shit and say it's because, I'm Siren's son and I'm secretly a merman and I just like being in the water, but, long baths, yeah, that really just does it for me. Moving on, Pyro Kitsune asks, what character would you kill off if you didn't have an emotional connection to them? Oh god. Oh goodness, that's a hard one. I don't know if like any of the ones I have right now I'd want to kill off. And I couldn't do it to like Abel or Bren because those are the babies. Those are like two of my first characters. You know what? The easy answer would be Shay, because we don't know if he's alive or dead, and I'm not telling you. You're just gonna have to figure that out, you know? And now next up, Nadia asks, if you were to ever cosplay as any of your characters, who would you cosplay as and why? Killian, 100% Killian, or Bryn, but mostly Killian. Because I just want to embody whatever the fuck he's got going on. That is confidence personified, and I want to be that man. Moving on, Tia asks, I feel like you've mentioned your favorite characters before, but what world would you most like to be in / develop the most? Arcanon. It's gotta be Arcanon, because that world is 100% original. That was all me. That was like the world that I've been tinkering on since I was a kid. I've rewritten it a couple times now that I'm an adult to make it more, give it that more flushed out feel. And that's all 100% like my original ideas. Like Grestenfell, it's based off of D&D. West Haven is set in Earth, and I didn't create Earth. But Arcanon is special to me because that was my passion project. That was like all me, 100% original ideas crammed in, and then it came out as this viable, flushed out world, and it is the most proud creation I have today. So if I could develop that to the nth degree, I would 100%. Goat asks, do unicorn half-bloods exist? Dragons exist, and with RGA, Rare Gene Anomaly, I've explained that ad nauseam, a phoenix exists, he's been mentioned before. Mythical creatures do exist through the little RGA thing in Half-Blood genetics, so a unicorn is very simply a horse half-blood with like a horn growth, so I'd say yeah, 100% they could exist. In fact, they're probably like not too rare of the rare gene anomalies. So yeah, half-blood unicorns could exist. Yeah. Ooh, moving on. Katie asks, which one of your characters would you kiss, marry, and kill? Playing kiss, marry, kill. All right. Kiss Abel, marry Zeke, and kill Jace, cause fuck Jace. Okay, moving on. Ali asks, darkest story idea that never made it past the drafts. I'm gonna say half of it passed the drafts and half of it didn't, was Duke's backstory. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still real fucking dark if you can read between the lines, but like, you know how writers like to really traumatize their characters? Yeah, poor Duke. Poor Duke. He was... Poor baby. That's all I'm gonna say on that. But it could have been worse. It's terrible, and it is the baddest of the bad, but it could have been worse. Hence the reason why I don't make NSFW or strictly adult content, but I do say everything is made for adults and everything is 18+, because the innuendos and insinuations and, like, the themes of my content are very mature themes. So, again, I don't make content for Charon, so if you're Charon, get the fuck away. Moving over to YouTube, Wholesome Goddess asks, will there be more Theo, and will we get to meet his brother? Theo was a commissioned idea. He is my original character, but the plot he's set in was commissioned by someone else, so I feel kind of... if I continue that plot with that listener, because the listener's not mine, but Theo is mine, so I would have to completely uproot Theo and start again. But as for Hammond, his brother, I do want you guys to meet him at some point, but it has to be right place, right time. I know where he is right now, and it's an interesting plot that I think I want to try, but I'm going to need some better art of Hammond, and I'm going to need some time to flesh out an entire plot for the guy. Ob asks, have any of your stories moved you to tears? Have you adopted any mannerisms because you have given them to one of your characters / vice versa? And what is your favorite tiny detail you enjoy in your audio stories or just audio RPs in general? As for number one, have any of them moved me to tears? I think, like, since I'm the writer, I've had to, like, think about the story for a while. So, like, I've had time to, like, digest the sad parts. But either thinking about Duke's happy ending kind of gets me a little bit emotional, or when I was writing Benny, I didn't intend Benny to be, like, a book nerd, but he was supposed to be just, like a stereotypical, like, monster lover thing, but, giving him the little thing where he really likes this knockoff version of the Beauty and the Beast, has been very, very cute, and I don't know why, but it really sits well with me, and it kind of made me a little bit emotional, because I was like, I came up with that. That was so cute. And as for number two, have I adopted any mannerisms? Oh, Killian, 100%. I walk around the house like shit don't stink. Like, I manifest that man in my daily life. Next thing, I'm gonna get a flopped over white hairdo whenever I grow my hair out. Never. I can't pull that off. And as for number three, favorite tiny detail about audio roleplays is just the fact that you use your mind's eye to envision the story, so everyone can envision how it would be ideal to them, like the setting, the background, the lighting, the characters' features, mannerisms, size, everything about an audio RP is tailored to what you want it to be in your mind, other than the script. And I think that's something very beautiful that sparks a lot of creativity, especially in people. So this is like almost a creativity exercise, at least for me and the people listening. Because I used to listen to ASMR RPs before I started this, and that's how I like to really just give my brain a workout in creativity, was I listened and I listened, and I really just tried to picture as clear as day what these stories would look like if I was actually living in them. And now I make this stuff, and you guys evidently like it, because we just hit 60K, and holy hell, that's the thing that I didn't think would ever happen, but here we are. So, thank you very much. I'm gonna try not to scream and act very cool, calm, and collected. And I'm just gonna say thank you, casually, like a man. Thank you. Thank you very much for your business and your support, because that is what I very much appreciate you giving me. I'm such a fucking nut. Moving on. Next, Caroline asks, would you ever redo certain older character stories like Grayson or Abel? I would love to redo both of those. Mostly Abel, because while I still have his videos, or his early videos on the playlist, his, like, first three were before I figured out that I wanted to do a multiverse, so they have a lot of non-canon stuff I've retconned, like he's not over 100 years old anymore, and Ravenfell got burned a long time ago, back when Cassia was a kid, because they're all like in their 20s now. But yeah, stuff like that, just to restate lore so that newcomers who watch from the beginning don't get really fucking confused. But other than that, Grayson was my first ever series, and that was when my writing was at its most amateur. So just re-listening to how I wrote those scripts, I was just kind of like, oh no, don't make us do it, no. So stuff like that, I just really would like to go back and be like, look, I'm a better writer now. Please don't watch my first video and think that that's all there is. Come to the new stuff. Come over here where we're all fun and more prepared and well-trained. But, yeah, just both Abel and Grayson I would definitely love to do over, because they were my earliest, and they were the least prepared for what this channel then became. Yeah. Katakana asks, do you plan on making a next-gen sequel for some of your characters after you get to the ends of their stories? Yes, actually, after I can finally sit down and finish the intimidating script of Westhaven, I do want to click into like a season 2 of my entire channel. After I just bring some things to a close. Of course, we're still going to have your standalone characters, and stuff of Grestenfell is just going to be my little side projects I like to do. But I do want to have like a next gen or a season 2 of like my arcs and stuff, especially when I have this new big thing kind of planned. It's a work in progress, and I'm working with a couple of people to sort of flush out the kinks. And it started as like a fan thing, but then I got involved, and it really blossomed into something that's so fun. And so we're gonna try to do it over again, but I kind of can't wait to get that out to y'all. It's just gonna be a little bit, so stick with me. But I want it to be perfect, so the longer it takes, the more I'm able to help iron out the kinks and get everything all fixed and get more people on my channel to collab and act with me, and it's gonna be great. At some point, I do want to actually hire some actresses to do F for A videos, because, like, I think a Babylon video would be fun, or a Cassia standalone video could be interesting, but that's just stuff that I've, pipe dreamed about, and I would need a lot more free time and, money to just funnel towards hiring other people. And I'm still sort of figuring out my new living situation because I just moved into my own little place. So if you hear my neighbors playing loud music in the background of this video, it's because they need to shut the fuck up because I'm recording. But yeah, stuff like that is how I do want to expand on the channel and turn it into its own bigger thing. And I'm really excited to do stuff like that. Moving on, All Makeup SFX asks, of all the new series and characters, which one is your most favorite? Faceless. 100% Faceless. Faceless is currently my biggest fascination right now. I love him. He is baby. He is sweet. He is one of my greatest newer creations. And I cannot wait to cultivate that story and see where it goes because, my god, I love that man. Moving on, at user, I'm not even going to attempt that, that's just keyboard mash, says, what is the hardest thing about writing a series? Keeping the motherfucker going, because Thresh has gone on for so long, so I needed to take a big break before picking him back up again, and that's what I did with this latest series, is now starting a whole new arc. But when a character goes sort of radio silent for a little bit, that's me taking a little sabbatical so that I can come back refreshed and renewed with better content for that character. So when you're constantly blowing up my comments like, when's this character coming back, or is this character coming back, you just gotta wait and see, because some really either are commissioned and I don't feel like picking them back up, or they're coming back, you just gotta wait because I want good writing. I don't do sloppy shit. I don't do half-assed stuff. I only do what I think is the best of my abilities. If something is under or not to par, I completely chuck it. I only want to give you guys what I think is good content, and I'm not going to give you anything less than that. So I need time to make sure that it is good before I throw it at you and be like, oh, here, have this. This is just to save me time. No, I don't do that. I put a lot of thought and work into this, and this is my passion project, and I want you guys to love it as much as I love it, and I don't love bad work, so only good work. And I think that'll just about close us up. I didn't get to all the questions, so I might make another Q&A to like follow up with this one. So I will see you guys in a part 2. Thank you.